good evening, whichever. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the day you are in. And this is your host Ashutosh once again back with our happy hours of coaching session. I'm excited to bring another interesting topic, and thanks all for joining for this session. The topic which I'm going to talk about is product prioritization techniques. I think we all I mean, we all know that yes, as a product owner, I need to prioritize my backlog, or even as a Scrum Master or an Agile coach, my product manager should be prioritizing the backlog. Yet we many times get confused, or we many times are not sure which technique we should be applying in our product prioritization, right? There are a lot of techniques. I'm sure many of you would have heard these techniques. Some of you would have also used these techniques, which I'm going to talk about, or a couple of these techniques could be very new to you. It is quite possible, right? But nevertheless, I'm sure that there will be at least a couple of techniques which you can take back to your workplace, and in case you can apply those techniques. In case they're not working, you can always revert back to your old ways of working. Just for folks who just joined in, and I'm also live on LinkedIn, welcome LinkedIn also, and thanks for joining me. My name is Ashutosh Bhatodekar. I'm an enterprise agile coach, a consultant, and a trainer. I have my own YouTube channel also, so if anyone is interested to watch my old videos or old series of happy hours of coaching, do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have given the link in the chat box for the benefit of all of you. All right, so let us start with a small icebreaker. Okay, let us start with a small icebreaker. And can anyone guess what? Okay, let us start with a small icebreaker. And yeah, so I'm going to show you a picture of a product, and you have to identify. Okay, you have to identify. So what is this product all about? Any guesses? Anyone? Any guesses on this product? What is it all about? And would you buy this product? Any guesses? What is this product? Okay, so someone already has this product with them. Okay, interesting. Interesting to know that. Self-stirring mug. Okay, so what is this self-stirring mug? Okay, I'm allowing people to unmute themselves and speak if they find it comfortable. You can unmute for this part of the session. You can unmute yourself and speak. Yeah. What is this self-stirring mug?
So probably after putting sugar, you don't need to use teaspoons to mix it.
Correct. Absolutely right. Once you put a sugar and your tea or coffee into it, you don't need to put a spoon to stir it. So first of all, you're saving on one item for cleaning. And secondly, many times what happens is, even if I use a spoon, right, the sugar still remains. And at least for me, okay, I don't know about you, at least for me, it is not a good experience. The sugar crystals at the bottom. So this is what we call as a self stirrer mug, right? It is available on Amazon, by the way. All these products are available in India. That's why I've also mentioned the rupee price. I'm not a brand ambassador for any of these products. Okay, just wanted to show you how the world is innovating. The whole idea here is, how do we innovate? How do we bring about that culture of innovation into our teams? Okay, so I'm not going to get any cut out of this. Okay, so I mean, if you don't like a product, you don't like a product, as simple as that. But if you like the idea, go ahead and do it. And likewise, there are thousands of such products which are available today. These are just some of them which I have picked up, just to make sure that we understand that how people are innovating their product, right? Okay, one more icebreaker before we move ahead. The second one. Yeah, any guesses? What is this?
Coffee steamer.
Shoe polish.
Shoe polish. Okay, interesting.
Individual coffee steamer.
Individual coffee steamer. Interesting. If it is a shoe polish, I won't need it now, at least till my office opens up. Uh, okay, but yeah, this is a product which may not even need for some more time, until and unless the offices open up. So it is actually, yes, one of the participant has mentioned it in the chat. It is a handy steamer to make your clothes wrinkle free on the go. So you carry it with you. Let us say suddenly you reach office and you find that there's a very important meeting and your clothes are crumpled up because of traffic, either Bangalore traffic or because of Mumbai trains or because of, let's say, Chennai buses or whatever mode you're traveling. Okay, whatever mode you're traveling, you can just put it on your clothes and it will actually give you that ironing feeling, right? Again, available on Amazon. Okay, the price is there. Again, I'm not advocating these products, but I'm just telling that these are not some fancy products which are picked up from abroad countries, right? So these are products which we find nowadays in India also, right? I mean, since most of us are from India, these are products which we find in India also. Now, obviously, both these products, if you look at it, like cup, let us say if I start manufacturing another cup, probably I may not be successful. I may not be able to successfully sell that product, right? There are thousands of cup manufacturers in India. So I need to give something unique to my consumers, right? At the end of the day, I need to give something that MVP which comes out of my product. That is something which should be very, very unique. That is something which should be appealing to my consumers or to the end users. That is where I'm trying to hint at. So that's the area where I'm trying to take you all there, that this is where you should be actually developing a product, right? And as coaches, many times I'm asked this question, but the product backlog is the purview, or it's in the custody of the product owner, right? No, but as coaches, we can definitely coach our product owners in I mean, in the techniques which I'm going to talk about, be it prioritization techniques, be it coming out with innovative features, innovative ideas. That is something we definitely need to coach our product owners on those, right? So now moving ahead, let us try to understand some of the very popular one prioritization techniques, right? Now, this is not a technique what I'm going to show you. This is a very interesting, I would say, graph which is going to come out in your screen, right? So the next picture which is going to come out is a very interesting graph which will be coming out, and I'm sure experienced people would have already seen this. They in all probability would have used this graph. They would have, I'm sure, used this graph from a prioritization perspective. Now this graph has got like any other graph, x-axis and a y-axis. On x-axis you have the value which the feature gives to my end user or to my customer. So that is on the x-axis on a scale of low to high. So on a scale of low to high, how much is the value we are delivering to our customer? And on y-axis we have the ease of implementation. It starts from difficult to easy. Okay, so that is what we call it as the prioritization matrix what we have here. So let us take a cup, the same example, right? Product A, cup. The stirrer feature, if you ask me, it is definitely a high value product. It is a high value feature, but at the same time, remember one thing, it may not be easy to implement. So it probably will lie here. The stirrer feature in that cup, it in all probability, the automatic stirrer, let me use a proper word, the automatic stirrer feature in that product will in all probability lie here, right? Because obviously it is definitely a high value product, but it may not be easy to implement. So first of all, I have not seen that product myself, but there might be a battery involved in it. There might be a battery at the base. So there's an electrical connectivity which is coming out there. Could be. Okay. Or it could be a mechanical stirrer. We don't know that, right? But it will be definitely a high value product. And let us say comparatively difficult to implement, right? The picture on the cup, let us say personalized picture on the cup. So let us say I want my photograph to be on the cup, or I want a nice beautiful quote on that cup. That probably would be here. It is definitely easy to implement, and it will be somewhere in the I would say in the, not exact, it might be a high value for some people, but it could be somewhere here, right? A personalized quote for my cup, right? So this model, it actually is a very interesting tool which helps you categorize that, okay, which are the high value products, okay, which features in my product are giving high value, and the ease of implementation from a scale of low to high, how easy it is to implement or how difficult it is to implement, right? So this is one tool which we can use straight away, which will help you prioritize the features in the product. Now again, again I'm repeating, as a scrum master, as a coach, Remember, you are not just coaching your team of developers. You are not just coaching your team which is developing the product. You are also supposed to coach the people who are going to conceptualize about the product, who are going to actually design this product in the first place, right? So this is one tool which we can straight away start using. I mean, it's a very straightforward tool. You just have to draw a x-axis, y-axis, value on the x-axis, ease of implementation on the y-axis, and then categorize the features in your product backlog, and then decide, okay, so invariably what happens in real time, invariably what happens in real time most of the times is also that your MVP1 might be here. This might be your MVP1 which comes out of this. That could be a very strong possibility, that it may not be that all the features which are in high value and easy to implement will be a part of MVP, right? For example, let's take a smartphone. The calling feature might be easy to implement now that the industry has matured a lot, right? But let us say a Bluetooth functionality, or let us say any other functionality, let us say even the any other, let's say the new functionality, right? Connectivity, etc. They may not be easy to implement, though they might be a high value feature. They might not be having an ease of implementation, right? So that's one fundamental piece we need to understand, that your MVP might be crisscrossing across the area. There's something very interesting in this model. This is something you will never implement. Idea C. Idea C is something which you will never implement. Low value and difficult to implement. Low value and difficult to implement. Anyone can suggest for a cup, for a coffee cup, what can Idea C be, or what feature can Idea C be for a coffee cup? The one which I showed you, which has got an automatic stirrer in it. What could be a cup for that cup? An Idea C. Very difficult to implement and low value as such. Anyone? Just think over it. What could be the feature? Yeah, I hope I'm audible. You can unmute yourself and speak, by the way.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, okay. I was just asking, like, what could be that feature?
Maybe moving the handle to somewhere else. The bottom maybe, or removing the handle.
Automatically coffee heating cup. Yes, that can be a good feature, right? Automatically heater, right? I mean, yes, I mean, you are going to add, let us say, heater in it. So that the coffee, I mean, you can definitely implement the thermos functionality, okay, what our normal thermos have. But definitely implementing something like a kind of a microwave, something like a microwave in that would be very, very difficult to implement, right? That is something which is what we call as a difficult to implement functionality which will be there, right? I mean, that will be not an easy to implement functionality which could come out here, right? So very I mean, a very interesting I would say concept. I mean, this tool can help you actually prioritize, right? This is one tool which can help you prioritize which of the following I mean, you can be doing, right? I mean, or which of the things we should be doing from a priority perspective is what this will help you to do that. Okay, with that, let us move ahead and let us see the periodic table of what we call as prioritization techniques. I think we all remember the periodic table which we studied in our school's chemistry, I think 10th standard or 11th standard, if I'm not mistaken. Now, this is a periodic table of prioritization techniques. On x-axis, we have whether it is to be used internally, which means like a product development organization, or external facing. And on y-axis is whether the technique is qualitative or quantitative. So as you can see, there are multiple prioritization techniques which are listed, and obviously we will not be able to cover all of them, right? I mean, due to the time constraint, we obviously will not be able to cover all of these prioritization techniques, but lot of techniques probably we would not have even heard names, like feature bucket. There's also something called as a feature basket, I came to know, which is not here. Business goal, feature analysis, Kano model. I'm sure Kano model many of us would have heard. QFD, opportunity scoring. Then there's also one more, Moscow, the very famous Moscow, which we are going to incidentally talk about it, right? So these are what we call as the what we call as the techniques which are used from a prioritization perspective in our project, right? So we'll be talking about few of them which are very, very interesting, which are very, very important. And invariably, we end up using these techniques in our day-to-day activities, right? So this is what we'll be talking about. These techniques is what we will be talking about as we go ahead. And yes, I do get a lot of interesting comments on LinkedIn also. So thanks, LinkedIn folks who are on LinkedIn, for a feature which is in that earlier to that earlier question. Yeah, auto heater or a metal product which actually can be which can be put in a microwave. So thanks, LinkedIn, for this once again. And thanks for your input also. So yeah, I'm also reading at the LinkedIn comments at repeated intervals so as to get an idea, okay, how the people on LinkedIn are reacting. Okay, so this was the response to the earlier questions at LinkedIn. So thanks for that. Okay, so moving ahead. Okay, moving ahead. So yeah, this is the periodic table of prioritization techniques. What we have on x-axis, we have internal or external, and y-axis we have qualitative to quantitative. So those are the prioritization techniques what we have here, right? Internal world could be a development team, BAs, POs. External world, when you're interacting with them, is your customers, clients, end users, etc. Right? So you have to take a call whether you need to go for a data-driven technique or a qualitative technique, right? There's also another technique very which I have used, but I'm not going to talk about it today. It is called as buy a feature. Okay, this is called as a buy a feature technique, where everyone is given some currency notes. So in buy a feature, what happens is everyone is given some currency notes, and you have to bet. These are the features you have to bet. Okay, which feature you will buy, which feature you will not buy. So the total value of the feature will be, let us say, 1,000 rupees, but you are not given 1,000 rupees. You're probably given only 700 rupees. So you have to decide where will you put your money on, which feature will you put your money on, right? So that is what is another technique which is called as a buy a feature technique, which is there. Okay, let's go to the first interesting technique, Kano model. How many of you have heard about this technique or have used it? How many of you have heard it or used this technique? Okay, I think I see one hand raised, Sriram. Okay, a very interesting technique, developed by Professor Noriaki Kano. And this talks about mainly four areas where this technique is applied: basic needs, performance needs, excitement needs or delighters, and indifferent needs. So what does this Kano model talk about? The Kano model looks at this in a different perspective. So first of all, let us understand the x-axis and the y-axis. X-axis is the presence of functionality, whether the functionality or the feature is present in the product or not. That is what is in the x-axis what we have. And y-axis is the degree of satisfaction. So it can go from frustration to delight. And functionality is present or the functionality is absent. Okay, this is what the Kano model talks about. Now look at this curve. This is a must-have functionality. What is a must-have functionality? Which means that this functionality has to be there in the product. If you don't have this functionality, the product does not make a sense. For example, I go to a car showroom. Okay, I go to a car showroom and this person is showing me this car. So there are some basic functionality which I am expecting. Okay, now even if the basic functionality is present in the product, the satisfaction is not neutral. Okay, I'm still in that frustration zone. I'm not in the neutral zone. I'll tell you a reason for that. You might be wondering that even if the basic functionality is present in the product, why is the satisfaction not neutral? Ideally, this curve should have hit on that x-axis, right? But there's a gap, as you can see. There's a small gap, as you can see here, right? The person is not happy. The person is a little on the frustration side, though very, very minor, but it is on the frustration side. So just let's do a role play. Let us say you come to my showroom for buying a car. I am the car salesman and I tell you, you know what, sir, this car is such a wonderful car. It has got a steering wheel. It has got 4 wheels. It has got a boot space. I'm sure you will start wondering. You will start wondering as to why is this salesman stressing on these points. definitely there's something wrong in the product. There's definitely something wrong in the product. That's why he's harping on these things, that the car has got a steering wheel, the car has got, let us say, a boot, it has got a seat, it has got, let us say, a window, airbag, etc. This is a bare minimum functionality which is expected out of the product, right? If the functionality is absent, you are going to be extremely frustrated, right? You are going to be extremely frustrated. Let us say I take a car out and the wheels are not working properly, or let us say the axle is not working properly, it is not turning out properly, left, right, indicators are not working properly. I'm going to be frustrated. The yellow one line is for performance. So this is the yellow line. So yellow line is for performance of what we have, or the orange line. This is the performance line. More the better, less the worst. Okay, more the better, less the worst is what we need to understand, right? So which means, let us say that when I took a car, or when I'm buying the car, the message which I've got is that the car will give me 15 kilometers to a liter of petrol. Okay, and in reality it gives me 20 liters. I'm going to be extremely happy. So that yellow line will shoot up. That yellow line will talk about the delighters, right? That yellow line, when it is going on the 45 degrees to the right up, is a delighter. But instead of 15 kilometers, it is giving me only 8 kilometers to a liter. I am in that frustration zone. I'm going to be in that very, very high frustration zone, right? So that is what the yellow line talks about. So yellow line is about performance. The more the better, less the worst. Neutral means you are at the neutral, right? So when you have been committed 15 kilometers to a liter of petrol, you in really are getting 15 kilometers to a liter of petrol. So that is what is the yellow line, what we call it. Okay, the blue line, interesting line, delighters. The blue line is the delighters, which means if you don't give it initially, it is okay. If someone is buying that product, that means they have taken the fact that yes, there may not be delighters, too many delighters in the product. But if you don't give it over a period of time, this line might come down here, okay? People might get frustrated. So it is always important that you have to give the delighters as we move along. So as we move along, the delighters are something which needs to be shared across with the consumers, right? Otherwise your competitors will give those delighters, and then what will happen is that you will be out of the business, right? So that is what we call as the delighters, what we call it here, right? So these are some of the very interesting observations on the Kano model. There is a very interesting graph there. I don't know how many of you have noticed it, that thick black line which is on the x-axis. That is indifferent feature. Whether you give it or not, it does not matter. Whether you give it, okay, I will take it. Whether you don't give it, I will not take it. So in car case, what could be an indifferent feature? Whether the car company gives it or not, it does not matter. Anyone would like to answer that? In a car case, what could be the indifferent feature?
The,
Yes,
something
anyone?
like a style things, extra.
Okay, Shriram, I think I'm not able to hear you. 1 minute. I think there's some problem. You can type in. I think there's some problem in me hearing. So I think the audio connection, I think the speaker connection has gone out. So you can just type in if I'm not able to. Body colored mirrors. Okay, interesting. Body colored mirrors. I don't know. I mean, some people might like it. Yeah, but I think you can keep that one. Yeah, you can keep that one. The body colored mirrors could be the ones. Yes, that could be the one which could be there, right? I mean, whether you give it or not, it does not really matter, right? The body colored mirrors could be the one which could be there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let us move ahead. Let us move ahead, and yeah, decorative items is what Sriram was telling. Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, and people on LinkedIn also, I can see some of you have given comments, so thanks for that. Okay, let us move ahead. Let us move ahead, and let us further try to understand this. Okay, so we have seen the Kano model, must-have requirements, performance, attractiveness, and indifferent, right? Indifferent requirements. So those are the four types of, I mean, I would say the prioritization, through prioritization, we have been able to get that Kano model. Okay, then we come to the very, very famous, I think maybe I should not be even covering this, but anyways, I'm just covering it so that we cover this, so that people don't say that, oh, what happened to that technique Moscow? Is Moscow replaced by something? So Moscow. must have requirements, should have requirements, could have requirements, and won't have requirements. Okay, the very famous Moscow model of prioritization. And many of us, at least when I heard it about this technique, I thought that are we talking about any capital? Are we talking about any city's capital here, right? So let's take a burger, a veg burger. Okay, let's be politically correct and let's take a veg burger. Okay, so I'm going to take a veg burger. Okay, I'm going to take a veg burger and let us see what is a must have requirement in a veg burger. What is a must have requirement in a veg burger? Patty? Obviously, a burger cannot exist without a patty, right? Right? Patty is a must have requirement, and obviously the buns, right? The bread and the buns, right? So that is what will be the must have requirement, right? Okay, that will be the must have requirement in my veg burger. What will be a should have requirement? Must have means without which the product cannot be sold. So if I go to, let's say, any of the companies, any of the restaurants to eat a burger, and this person tells me that a burger will come without a bun, it will come with a bread, I'll say no, that is not a definition of a burger. My definition of a burger is it should have a bun and it should have a patty. At least give me that bare minimum requirement. What is a should have requirement? Something which is nice to have but not important for a release. So in a burger, what is a should have requirement? Mayo. Okay, mayo. So we are talking about veg burger. Okay, so mayo is, I think, it's more of egg. Double cheese, but okay, I'll take veg mayo. Okay, mayo, double cheese. Okay, what about French fries? Many times you get it free, right? Nowadays, I mean, especially without naming any restaurant where I think all of us have gone. French fries, what are these? These are must have or these are should have? French fries. Anyone? French fries, are they must have or are they should have? Just think over it. Sauce, ketchup. What is ketchup? Is it a must have or is it a should have? Okay, yeah. So obviously French fries and all are not a part of the must have for sure. Ketchup can be a should have. Ketchup can be a should have, but I again be careful. Okay, if you're taking your kid, for him or her the ketchup is a must have for a kid, right? I mean they will actually like to immerse it into that ketchup, dip it into it, and then enjoy the taste, right? So it also depends on the customer. You have to do a what I'm trying to tell is you have to do a persona analysis. You have to do that. Okay, how many percentage of kids come to such a place where this burger is a very niche dish or a popular dish, right? So that is what we have to do, and we have to do what is called as a persona analysis. We need to do a detailed persona analysis in order to do this, right? So yeah, ketchup could be a should have. Could have can be lettuce. Could have requirement can be a lettuce, right? Any salad along with it, that can be a could have requirement, right? That is something which will be there, right? A salad, something which is like a salad. Salad is something which I can have, which I can be having as a could have requirement, which will be there. Won't have. This is interesting. Won't have. Come what may be, my burger will not have this. Any guesses? Come what maybe, the burger will not have this. Any guesses? Okay, interesting. Let me read. Meat in a veg burger. Let's assume that it's a veg restaurant. It's a veg restaurant. Let's assume for a moment. Red chili. Okay, interesting. Red chili. French fries in burger. No, the other day actually I went to a restaurant. They were having French fries embedded in the burger. Okay, so this was a local eatery, not the branded one. It was a local eatery, and he had actually put French fries into the burger patty. I mean, there were those streaks. There were those streaks of layers what he had put it. Sambar and chutney. Oh, interesting. Uh, chocolate spread. Won't be in a burger, right? I mean, you can't expect in a veg burger to have a chocolate spread, right? So that won't be in the burger, right? Yeah, you can also say red chili. You can also say sambar and chutney, but that's what I'm trying to say, that this is a won't have requirement. This is something which we are not going to have, right? This is something which we definitely are not going to have. So a very popularly used technique. In fact, most of the product owners prefer this technique, which is the Moscow method of prioritization. So most of the product owners, they actually prefer this technique because it actually gives them at a glance the must have requirements, the should have requirement, the could have requirement, and the won't have requirement. So this is one of the most widely used and most popularly used technique from a product prioritization perspective. So I've just tried to simplify it by using the example of a burger, right? So that is what we call it as a the Moscow method of prioritization. Okay, let us go to the next technique. Okay, let us go to the next technique. Have you heard about this technique, rice? Has anyone heard about? I'm not talking about rice what we eat at home. This is also very, I mean, not that popular technique. And you'll be surprised to know that this technique is used in an, I mean, even in an agile way of working. And the interesting thing is that the effort is calculated in person months. You will be surprised, or I'm sure a lot of antennas would have gone up when you saw effort is calculated in person months. So RICE is an acronym for four parameters: reach, impact, confidence, and effort. Reach is how many people are we targeting this feature to reach? How many people are going to use this feature? It is done at a feature level, okay? Not just at a product level, it is done at a feature level. For example, Microsoft Word, control C, control V. I think it will reach to the maximum population. But let us say a feature like mail merge or an annotation feature will probably only few people would be using, right? So control C, control V, control C, control X, control V, cut, copy, paste is the most commonly used feature. Font increase size, font color change, many people would be using. But let us say review feature, again somewhat a medium size people, I mean the population would be less, right? So that is what reach talks about, that how many customers will this project impact over a quarter. Impact, okay, let us say that how much will this project increase the conversion rate. If I introduce this feature, will I be able to sell more of my product? Will it have a corresponding correlation in the number of customers added? That is what we call as the impact. Okay, that is what we call as the impact. Third is the confidence. How much confidence does the team have? Right. So do you think that we will be able to generate or we'll be able to develop this feature? So I think already rumors are floating around Apple iPhone 13, right? There's a talk of the town that this model is going to come in the market soon, and when they're designing it, definitely confidence is something they will also be taking into account, considering the fact that the launch date is going to happen soon, right? And how much effort it is going to take in person months. And that's what I said. I mean, the surprising part about this technique is it does not talk about story points, it does not talk about any of the agile estimation techniques we are so used to or so affiliated with, right? This is mainly talking about person months, and there is a rice score which gets calculated. So reach, how many customers per month, right? How many people will this feature affect in a given time frame? Impact, massive impact is number 3, high impact 2, 1 is medium, zero point 0.5 is low, 0.25 is minimal impact. Confidence, 100% confident, 50%, 80%, 50% confident. Those are the numbers. And how much will be the effort which will be required for this? So what you get interestingly is a score out of this. Okay, so what you're going to get is a score out of this, and the score is going to tell us that, okay, obviously the numbers which are on the higher side, or I would say the feature which has got a higher rise score is the first one to be picked up, right? So what we'll be doing is that feature is the first one what we'll be picking up, right? So that is what is the rice template what we have. So just to show you how a sample template looks like, this is how a sample template of a rice looks like. Okay, reach, the number of consumers, impact, confidence, and effort. The rice score gets calculated. This is a slightly quantitative technique. This is a quantitative technique what we are now moving. The first two were qualitative techniques. So what you get is a rice score, and obviously the highest one, the feature which has got the highest rice score is what we would be picking up, right? And so we have to sort it in a descending order, highest on the top, lowest at the bottom, and then you will have to go ahead and select that feature which has got a higher RICE score. So this is what we call as the RICE method of prioritization, right? Reach, impact, confidence, and effort is the RICE method of prioritization. Moving ahead, another interesting quantitative technique. I'm sure those of you who have done scaled agile techniques or scaled agile framework. Okay, okay, okay. I think there's a question on the previous one. Is the effort in what? Okay, so is the effort given in what? Okay, so effort is in man-days. Effort is given in man-days for this technique. So that's what I said. It's a traditional technique which is there, right? I mean, it's a very traditional technique. So it is actually done in man months or person months. The effort is in person months, as you can see here, right? So that is given in person months, and it's a very traditional technique. I mean, it was, I would say, it is at the intersection of a traditional way of working and an agile way of working. Okay, the next one what we have is, and as I said, those of you who have done already scaled agile framework certification or training or have been applying it in your day-to-day work, or you're working on a safe project, know about this technique, WSJF. Yeah, the very famous WSJF, weighted shortest job first, right? So this is getting calculated on 4 parameters. This WSJF technique calculates a score. It calculates what is called as a cost of delay, and cost of delay is a combination of 3 things: business value, risk reduction, and time criticality, right? So how will you rank the business value of a feature? 1 is for the lowest, 5 is for low, 8 is for medium, 13 is for high. It is a Fibonacci series, as you can see. 20 is for highest value. Time criticality, how much critical is this feature? 1 on a low scale, 5 on, sorry, 1 on lowest, 5 on low, 8 on medium, 13 on high, 20 on highest. Risk reduction, again, 1 when there is no risk. Very rarely you will find that scenario where there is no risk. 5 for low risk, 8 for medium risk, 13 for, I would say, a high risk, and 20 for a highest risk. And estimated size, again, extra small, small, t-shirt size, extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. So for every feature, you identify the business value. Business value is something which will be given by the product owner. You identify how much it is on the criticality side, how much is the risk reduction if this feature were to be introduced in my product, and what is the estimated size. So just to give an example, Arogya Kovin app, right? Not Arogya Setu, Kovin app. I think by this time, most of us in India would have used this app or would have actually downloaded it on our mobile phone, right? So if you ask me, let us say that they want to introduce a new feature where actually this feature was not there earlier. If you look at it, this feature was not there earlier. That it actually allows you to sort on a pin code. Rather than manually typing in the city, it will allow you to calculate on a pin code. The risk reduction would be that if I introduce this feature, the risk of a wrong selection of a vaccination center would be reduced, or the database hits would be lesser, right? Earlier, what used to happen, if I used to write, let us say, Mumbai, or I used to write Bombay, it used to get confused, right? I mean, the app used to go in for a toss, right? Where is Bombay, right? So those kind of risk reduction is what we are talking here. And WSJF score, okay, business value, time criticality, risk reduction divided by estimated size. Again, we have to sort it. Okay, we have to sort it. And the whole intention of this technique, there's a template also, the WSJF template, where you'll put these features and you will then rank these ideas. And then obviously the one which has got a how do you decide that? I mean, anyone from safe who can let us know, how do you decide which one to pick up, highest or lowest? Which one to pick up, which has got a higher WSJF score or a lower WSJF score? What do you think from a WSJF perspective? Yes, anyone? So I don't know if I'm not able to hear this actually somehow, but yeah, that will get sorted out. I'm just waiting for the session to get over, and then I will just sort it out. Yeah, but meanwhile, is it the highest one we pick or the lowest one we pick? What do you think on a WSJF? It is called weighted shortest job first. Yes, anyone who has done the safe will be able to answer that quickly. Low score. Okay. Sure. Low score, or is it high score? Highest. Okay. Just think over it. So just look at the denominator, just look at the numerator. Just look at the denominator, just look at the numerator. You'll come to know. Just think over it. Cost of delay is on the top. Cost of delay is on the top. Duration is on the denominator. We should pick up that where the cost of delay is highest, right? Where the cost of delay is highest and the duration is lesser, right? So we'll always go with that highest one. We'll always go with that highest one is what we will be going, right? So again, I mean, this is, I mean, although this is being taught in SAFe, or this is a technique which has been very frequently used in scaled agile framework, but what we need to understand is it can be applied at other places also. Not necessarily that this is only a SAFe technique, or a technique which is only used if you are having a scaled agile framework project. Yeah. Okay. So I have told you two qualitative techniques, and I have covered two quantitative techniques. And yeah, so the whole intention of using any of the prioritization techniques is to get that first level of MVP out. What is MVP? Minimum viable product. Incidentally, this is a picture of a MVP of a Facebook. I don't know how many of you would have signed for Facebook looking at this picture. Okay, how many of you would have signed for Facebook when you would have seen this picture, which would have come out, right? But this is a MVP, the first MVP of Facebook. So MVP is that first level of cut of a product, which you probably will not roll out in the market. You will only showcase it with few of the customers, right? Few of your key customers is with whom you will be showcasing your MVP with, right? So yeah, I mean, the whole intention of prioritization is to bring about that MVP, the first MVP out of the product, right? That is what we need to do as a part of our MVP analysis. That is the whole intention of using this prioritization techniques which are there. Release a product with the features in the market as soon as possible, get a quick feedback, and then start to improvise it, right? So that is what is the concept behind MVP, and prioritization techniques help you to do that in a I mean, in a structured manner, right? I mean, they will help you to do that in a very structured manner. So with that, I take a pause here. This is what I wanted to cover in today's session. In case any one of you would like to connect with me, in case we are not already connected, do connect with me on LinkedIn. I also have, as I said, my YouTube channel, Agile Coaching and Transformation Leadership. You can just search on it and the channel would be visible to you. This video will also get uploaded on the channel if you want to look at a later point in time. I've also written few articles on DZone. So if you can just search with my name on DZone, you will see around 8 to 10 articles which I've written on various topics. So with this, I take a pause, and yes, I mean, we do have a time for a couple of questions which we can take up, right? So you can now unmute yourself.
Just give me a few seconds before I switch over my audio.
Yeah, so you can unmute and you can ask the question. So I have just switched over my audio to a better audio. Yeah, hopefully this should work. Yeah. Anyone, any questions?
Hi, Ashutosh. This is Nitin Kumar Chobe.
Yeah,
Can
hi,
you hear me?
yeah. Yes, I can hear you.
So, which is the most commonly used methods out of this methods that you have explained just now?
So most of the times it is Moscow. Most of the times it is Moscow which gets used
Okay.
in the industry. That is what I have seen. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Moscow is the most one which is used. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you're asking any questions? Hello.
Hello, sorry, I'm not able to hear. Can you speak once again? Yeah, can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Now I can hear you. Yeah. So I think I answered the question earlier. I think earlier person who had asked, which is the most popularly used technique. As I said, Moscow is the most popularly used qualitative technique. Yes.
Yes, great. Thanks a lot, Ashutosh.
Okay. Anyone else? Any questions? Okay. Let me check if there are any questions on LinkedIn. Okay, anyone, if you want to come on a camera, you can come on a camera. I mean, feel free to come. Again, this is optional, not mandatory. You can come on a camera if you would like to come on a camera. Okay, hi, Sriram. Yeah, hi. Nice to see you.
Yeah, same here, Stosh.
Okay.
Wonderful session.
Thanks, Aparna. Yeah, thanks for joining. Okay. Fine. You can always connect with me later for more questions. Absolutely. I mean, all the more happy to be connected with you later on also for more questions in case anyone has, or if you remember any more questions. This presentation will be going on YouTube also. I mean, an edited version of this, a smaller version. You can refer to it at a later point in time also. And yeah, keep watching this space. We have few more interesting speakers coming up in next few weeks to help you learn and grow in your workplace. So keep watching the space, and you'll come to know more such sessions which are planned in the future. So with that, I take your leave, and yeah, wishing you all a very happy weekend. Stay healthy, stay safe, and hope all of you are in line with your vaccination doses. So thanks a lot, and have a great Friday evening ahead. Bye for now.
Thank you, Astosh. Wonderful
Yeah, thank
session.
you.
Thanks for the
Bye.
wonderful session.
Thanks.
Bye.